Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel and day 3 of the Washington trip. So on day 3 we are going to visit Mount Rainier. So originally the plan was to drive to Mount Rainier and just go up the mountain and see the scenery, but because it was really cold and there was heavy snow, we ended up doing a guided tour because it's easier. Neither I or my cousin have ever driven in snow before, so we decided that we were going to do a guided tour, which was amazing. It was a good decision. So we got there. So there was about 10 to 12 people in the bus. So we made it there pretty early, at about probably 11 o'clock. They had opened the roads up and we got in. So first stop was at this museum, which is right at the entrance. After you drive a little bit after the entrance, it's the first thing you see. So that's the little museum. So we stopped there. I did not go inside the museum because we had 15 minutes and I had to use the bathroom. So I just took a little video. So this is a tree, and you see how huge this tree was back in the day. So the trees were very much larger than they are now. So I just walked around outside a little bit. I didn't really go inside of the museum. It's very tiny and it was kind of crowded in there. So we used the restroom and that was my first time seeing full snow. So yeah, as you can see, I was playing like a little girl, being a Floridian and all. So that was kind of new to me. So and then we got back in the truck, driving up the mountain to go see I think it's Narada, that's how you pronounce it, falls. So up the mountain, the roads were very slippery, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am glad that we did not drive there, because chains, you're actually required to put chains in your tire because it's so slippery. So we finally made it up to the fall, or however, like to the location, and everybody was putting tire chains in their tires to make sure when they're going downhill, I guess the car doesn't just run off the road. The scenery there, oh my gosh, I mean, look at the snow just falling on my face, Jesus Christ. And so basically I wanted to go down there see, the fall itself is freaking frozen, and I was terrified because there's like no handrail, nothing protecting you from that side. And I was just standing there on the edge of the thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't slip. And as you can see, there are people walking down there. But by the time we tried to go down there, the snow had gotten way too heavy. So we just explored the little area there. Originally, we had 45 minutes to stay there at Narada Fall. But the snow became so heavy that the tour guide just called us and said, we have to start heading down. So we couldn't stay any longer. We were going to drive to go see, I think, what is it? Paradise. I guess that's one of the locations that is very popular in Mount Rainier. But we could not. So I walked a little bit down by the fall, just to see some, I guess, the little area, just exploring. But look how deep that snow fall is. It was all surprising to me, given that I had never seen snow. So I was just in there. Everybody was waiting in the car, and I just dragged my cousin outside with me. You see me running. But we finally made it back to the car, so we went back down because we could not go to see Paradise. So we drove a little bit down. The and we went back to the main area where the museum was. So walked around a little bit more, see some video of the, I think people are actually staying in those houses, so like the park rangers, and I guess some people probably rent, because they were like, oh yeah, if you cannot access those houses if you're not staying there, if you're not a guest there. I did not know that. I thought they were just there for sure, honestly. But surprise, surprise, they are not, because they do have the park rangers there, just to clear off the road, the snow, and sometimes to go off and then I guess barricade the road so people don't drive up the mountains when it's too dangerous. But we did go see that little bridge that the tour guide was like, oh, do you guys want to go see the bridge? Because you're not able to see paradise. Might as well make use of the trip and see as much as you can down there. So we were like, sure. So this is the bridge. I don't think there was a name for it, or he did not mention the name of it. So there's like little area that is very beautiful. I mean, look at it. I was just taking it all in, honestly. So I was just, exploring the area, walked the bridge, and then we head back. We started going back down because, at that point, we all had enough of the bridge because it's just a bridge. You see the bridge and done. So walked around, just scoped the area, the scenery. So we went back down and got in the car, drove a little bit more. So this is right like outside. It's not outside of the park, but it's like close to the entrance. They have that little trail where you can walk and see the name of the trees, basically telling you the history behind the trees or whatever, where the name came from. And there's a little bridge right there with a little river running down the bridge. It wasn't really much to see, but it's something. But all in all, I would rate this a good experience. So the next day, which was day 4, we were supposed to go to the Pike marketplace because it was Christmas Day. It ended up being completely empty. So that visit was very brief. I just walked around a little bit, got some snacks, and then we drove back to the hotel. You see the Starbucks or whatever, because yeah. And on day 5, which was, I guess, the day after Christmas, it was time for us to go to, of course, my favorite, the most anticipated place that we visited was Leavenworth. So on the way there, we also did a guided tour for the same reason that we did the guided tour at Mount Rainier. So our tour guide stopped at multiple very scenic location. I definitely recommend it. If you go doing winter and you don't want to drive in the snow, definitely do a guided tour. It was about $195 per person. So we got to see some really cool areas that like location that you would not know unless you did the guided tour. So I think it was well worth it. Because look at this. This is just beautiful. I was taking pictures, of the scenery left and right using my camera. And so, of course, the tour guide asked if we wanted to go down to go see, just walk down the trail to go really see the river or whatever. I think this is the Skyhomish River. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so I walked around a little bit, got in there, and yeah. And so the next stop was Deception Fall. That one I actually know the name. So this is like the stairs going down to go see the fall. It's very slippery because, of course, of the ice. So we got to the fall, walked around, just scoped the scenery again, as I always do. But this is really beautiful too. And even going up the stairs, it was, oh my gosh, very, very slippery. So we got up the stairs. I got up the stairs, almost dropped my phone in that thing. I always dropped my phone in my gloves. So thankfully I did not. And we just looked around a little bit and then got back in the car, and then it was time to head to Leavenworth. I mean, the scenery driving there, like, is just amazing. It looks very magical. Look at it. It's just, I don't know. I was so like amazed by it. I was taking it all in, looking at the view. I didn't really take a lot of videos of the view driving there, because I was just looking at it, just taking it in. But the little video that I have, you can see. So we finally made it to Leavenworth, the Bavarian village. My God, it's so busy. And I was telling my cousin, I am glad we didn't drive, because I don't know where we would park. There were a lot of people, there were a lot of traffic, and when you got there, cars were everywhere, and the streets are very busy, but it is beautiful. So this is, I guess, Christmas themed at the moment, because when we went there on the 26th of December, so all the decorations, everything was very Christmassy, which I had no problem with, because Christmas is my favorite holiday, like favorite season. I just love the atmosphere. But we walked around a little bit. So the tour guide gave us about 3 hours in Leavenworth, because like even to use the restroom, the line was like really, really long. So the 3 hours ended. When the 3 hours ended, you won't even notice. So we walked around, we got some hot cocoa, and at that Danish bakery, I think that's the name of it. It's called the Danish Bakery. And walked around a little bit, just explore the town. They do have a lot of gift shops, and you see those trees, like the snow on top of them. It's just amazing. If Leavenworth in Washington is in your bucket list to visit, definitely do it. Me personally, I probably try to go like during summer just to see how it looks. I don't know if it would be different, if it would be less cool, but during the winter, it's pretty like it looks like it's out of a Hallmark movie. So look at it. Everything seems so surreal. It's just, oh my gosh, the view. Look at it. But we walked around a lot. There were people like, what do you call it? They were using the sled. The kids were using sleds on the little ice spot. And these people were singing on the street, which was actually entertaining. We did get dinner from there, but I couldn't record because it was very tiny or whatever. It was a really nice place. Food was amazing. And it started getting dark. By that time, it was almost time for us to leave. So we got, to see the Christmas lights at night. And look at this. You can't even see the other side of of this house, because it gets really dark. But that was it. I know I spoke through this entire video, but thank you for coming to this short little trip with me, and see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.